Hi friends, welcome back for another Read Aloud with Mrs. Forth. Today I have a fiction book for us to read. Fiction, have you heard of that before as a way to describe books that we read? Fiction books. Fiction are stories that are made up by the author. Sometimes they seem like they could really happen, and sometimes they seem really far-fetched, like when animals are talking and doing things that humans do. In this book, it's called A Dolphin's Tale. We're going to read all about a boy, and I want you to decide, is this a fiction book that could really happen? Or maybe is it all made up? This book was written by Natalie M. Kennedy and illustrated by D.G. So thank you to the author for writing the words and the illustrator for drawing the pictures for us. A Dolphin's Tale. Earl had never learned how to swim, but he loved to sit by the pool and feel the water on his feet or sit at the beach gazing across the shimmering waves. You see, Earl was born with noticeably short legs, and he spent most of his life in a wheelchair. However, that never stopped Earl from dreaming and believing that one day he would be able to swim in a lake or surf on one of those waves in the ocean. You can see him dreaming. Earl's greatest joys were to sit up close to the ocean's edge and watch the waves and tides move like clouds on a windy day. Every weekend, Earl's mom would take him to the beach and sit him where the water met the sand so he could feel the warm water break over his knees. Earl loved how the water felt, and sometimes he would get all giggly when the tides came over his waist. So far, do you think this could really happen? Yeah, me too. Some days, when Earl would sit on the beach, he would dream that he owned a boat and was sailing around the world through the Mediterranean Sea and Pacific Ocean, capturing sights of unique native fishes like bluegill, paddlefish, flathead catfish, or sockeye salmon, and hearing the sounds of humpback whales. He really loves the ocean, doesn't he? He dreamed of swimming in the blue waters of Hawaii, exploring the coral reefs and sitting on the rock cliffs of Cape May while crabs snapped at his feet. Snap, snap, snap. One afternoon, as Earl sat at the water's edge, daydreaming, he looked out over the bay and spotted a buoy about 50 feet out, bobbing up and down in the water. A buoy. Do you see that thing bobbing up and down in the water? That's called a buoy. Suddenly, Earl got excited because as he looked toward the buoy, he thought he saw a couple of dolphins jumping in and out of the water. Even more special, Earl thought, as he saw a pink fin rising out of the water near the buoy. Earl was so excited, he forgot he had never learned to swim. He scooted himself into the water and jumped into an oncoming wave to swim out to the buoy, quickly realizing the waves were pushing him back to shore. As they kept pushing him back toward the beach, Earl kept trying to swim toward the buoy. Then, from out of nowhere, a pink dolphin came right under Earl's legs, and Earl slid back and caught onto the dolphin's tail. The dolphin took Earl for a ride out toward the buoy. Look at Earl getting to go out into the ocean, what he's always daydreaming about. Earl was in such delight, he raised one hand in the air, waving and holding on to the dolphin's tail. Yippee! One more lap, Pinky. Earl shouted the name he had chosen for the pink dolphin as they both circled the buoy for the second time. And as they were making the third lap, the dolphin started heading back toward the beach and began to dive into the water. What are you thinking now? Are you thinking that this could really happen? Or, something seems like a little far-fetched about this. I'm wondering, would a pink dolphin appear and take a boy for a ride through the ocean in real life? Sounds kind of fun. As the dolphin dived deeper she disappeared. And a strong wave got a hold of Earl and carried him back onto the beach. So there Earl is, right back where he started, at the edge of the water, sitting in the sand, looking at all the waves coming in. Earl was in a daze as he laughed and pointed toward the buoy when his mom came up to him. She shook him and said, "Earl, Earl, what are you laughing about? Where have you been? And why are you so wet? What are you pointing at?" His mom seems really confused. I wonder what's going on here. Earl thought he could see the tail of the pink dolphin swimming around the buoy with a couple other dolphins. And then he thought he saw the pink dolphin swim straight out of the water, doing a double somersault before heading out to sea. Earl said, "Mom, don't you see that pink dolphin? There, over there." He's really trying to convince his mom about the pink dolphin. Do you think his mom sees the pink dolphin? She did seem pretty confused when she was wondering why he was laughing, having such a great time. I don't think she saw it either. Earl's mom turned to look back toward the water, only to see the buoy bobbing up and down. No pink dolphin. Do you think he really saw a pink dolphin? Do you think he really rode on the pink dolphin's tail out to the sea? I don't know. Just then, a small wave came up over Earl's waist as he was lying down in the water, gazing at the blue sky. "Earl, Earl," Mom said as she shook him, then picked him up to dry him off. "Are you all right?" Earl, shaking his head, said, "Mom, where have you been? Why am I all wet?" "Oh, wait, I remember. I swam out toward the buoy, and these dolphins came and circled around me like they were protecting me, and they were jumping in and out of the water all around me. Then a pink dolphin lifted me out of the water. I caught on to the dolphin's tail and swam around and around the buoy. I remember as we made that last lap around the buoy, I was hanging on to the dolphin's tail." I mean, boy, does he have a story, doesn't he? "Then the dolphin brought me back toward the beach and swam away, slapping its tail up and down as if to say goodbye." "Oh, really, Earl?" his mom said with a smile. "Tell me, how exactly did you get back again?" Earl said, "The dolphin, Mom. It did happen. It was real. I just held on tight to the dolphin's tail and floated right onto the beach. I had the greatest ride ever." All the way home, Earl could not stop talking about the dolphin's tail. And Mom just smiled and said, "Yes, Earl, yes." Do you think Earl actually rode on a dolphin out to sea and the dolphin brought him back? That would be a great story to tell, wouldn't it? Thank you for reading this fiction book with me. Remember, fiction is a story made up by the author. And sometimes it could really happen, and sometimes maybe not. Like to Earl with the pink dolphin. Thanks for joining me for another read aloud. I can't wait to see you back next time. Bye, everybody.